George Washington, the man himself, the father of his country, the first president of the United States. But what if I told you that there was someone who held the presidential office before him? And no, I'm not talking about some obscure figure. We're about to reveal a fascinating twist in the story of America's first presidents that will blow your mind. George Washington, the war hero, the leader of the American Revolution, and the indispensable man in the founding of the United States. He's an icon in American history, and for a good reason. Washington's unanimous election as the nation's first president in 1789 is etched into our history books. But was he truly the first? To unravel this captivating story, we need to rewind to the years preceding Washington's inauguration. Picture a time when the United States was still finding its footing. The Articles of Confederation weren't quite cutting it, and America was crying out for leadership. It's at this point that our story takes a twist. Before Washington's legendary term, there was a figure who briefly held the presidential office in a different form. This was a crucial transitional phase that set the stage for the Washington presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, meet John Hanson. No, not John Hanson, the actor, but John Hanson, the forgotten figure of early American history. He served as the president of the Continental Congress under the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation were America's first attempt at a national government, established in 1777. The presidency under this system was more symbolic and different from the powerful executive we know today. The role of the President of the Continental Congress was not exactly the same as the presidency we are familiar with. So, who was John Hanson, and how did he find himself in this remarkable position? John Hanson was born in 1721 in Maryland and was a prominent merchant and politician. He became a delegate to the Continental Congress and later served as its president from 1781 to 1782. Hanson's presidency was marked by some critical events, including the ratification of the Articles of Confederation, which officially established the United States as a nation. During his tenure, he also made important decisions like selecting the first Thanksgiving Day. Now here's where things get a bit tricky. The controversy surrounding John Hanson's presidency stems from the nature of the role itself. As mentioned earlier, the presidency under the Articles of Confederation was quite different from what we know today. It was more akin to a ceremonial figurehead with limited executive powers. The question arises, can John Hanson's role as the president of the Continental Congress truly be compared to the modern-day presidency of George Washington and all subsequent presidents? Some argue that John Hanson should be considered the first president because he was the first to hold the title President of the United States in Congress assembled. They see him as the trailblazer, laying the foundation for the presidency we know today. On the other hand, there are those who assert that George Washington, with his executive powers and the presidency established under the United States Constitution, is the true first president. They argue that the office Hanson held was significantly different from the powerful, independent presidency that Washington assumed. But here's where it gets really interesting. While George Washington is celebrated as the first president of the United States, he wasn't officially inaugurated until April 30th, 1789. This leaves a significant gap between the ratification of the Articles of Confederation and Washington's inauguration. During this transitional phase, America was seeking stability and a unified government. John Hanson's tenure as president of the Continental Congress was a crucial bridge between the Confederation and the new federal government. So where does this leave us? Was John Hanson truly the first president of the United States? Or does George Washington hold that title? The answer isn't black and white, but one thing is for sure. Both figures played pivotal roles in America's early history. John Hanson may not have been the president we recognize today, but his presidency paved the way for a more powerful executive branch. He was a patriot who helped guide the United States through a turbulent period. And of course, George Washington's legacy is unassailable. His leadership in the Revolutionary War, the Constitutional Convention, and his role as the first president under the new federal government have forever enshrined him in history. It's important to remember that history is not always straightforward. It's a complex tapestry of events and figures, each contributing in their unique way to the story of a nation. So, was George Washington truly the first president of the United States? The answer may lie in the eye of the beholder, but one thing is certain. Both John Hanson and George Washington played vital roles in shaping the presidency and the United States we know today. Thanks for joining us on this eye-opening journey through American history. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing tales from the past. And as always, share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take?